Keep your spine straight. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Take a deep breath in. Hold it there. Oh. Oh. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram Yogena Chittasya Padena Vacham Malam Sharirasya Cha Vaidyakena Yopakarotam Pravaram Muninam Patanjalim Pranjaliranatosmi. Pranams to the Lord. Pranams to all the Mahatmas in today's Sanskrit session. So last week we were seeing the story aspect of it. I have not seen any messages in the group regarding doubts, but the group is open. If any time you have any queries on the prose reading, please let me know. Now today, oops, sorry. Okay. Now today we step ahead. We go to understanding the shlokas, how to read the shloka and how to write also the shloka. And for us, we'll first take the Anushtup Chanda, which is the easiest chanda to take. And for that, we'll take help of Gita. So I'd ask to keep the Gita copy with you. Hope it is there. We will start. We'll take a set of few shlokas. Need not be the first one or something.
I just had one question. You know, I do not recognize two alphabets at all. I mean, I recognize them, but I don't know how to say them. But one is that, you know, in that Mangalam Bhagavana Vishnu, Garuda, in that Garuda Dhwaja, Garuna or Garudha Dhwaja, it's looking like a Ana or something. It's a D with a dot. Should I post it?
No, D with the dot is a Hindi alphabet to say D.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay, I'll post it on the chat then maybe.
Yes, you can. Yeah. So the one with the dot is a D only, but in Hindi they write D like that.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And anytime, not just the class thing, but anything you come across, you just put it in the group and put the picture of that alphabet, put your audio message, whatever, so that there is a discussion happening in the group and others are also aware of it. Okay. Now, today we go ahead. We see the shloka aspects. And in the shloka aspects today, what I have done is instead of starting from the first chapter, first shloka something, because there's so much in Gita, we'll take the second chapter. You know, it's like a gist and so much is happening in the second chapter. Entire Gita is written over there. And in that second chapter, we will take the last few verses. So you can open the second chapter and you can go straight to verse number 54. Okay, we are there. So now what happens over here? We all know the background of Gita, where it is there. It is in the Bhishma Parva of Mahabharata. So in the whole 1 lakh shlokas, 100,000 verses, Gita is a small bit of only 700 verses in one small corner. Gita is happening on the battlefield. How people have landed in the battlefield, we all know. There was, total adharma. And now everybody's landed in, after everything, all the Samadama Danda is over, now the Veda part has come. Everything is there. And all are great warriors on themselves itself. And Arjuna is, we all know how great warrior he is, the best. He's got so many blessings from so many gods, and even his Dhanusha and all his bow and arrow itself is. So everything is par excellence. There is nobody ordinary out over there. Okay. Now Arjuna has this delusion that, oh, how will I kill my own family members? Then that's the point when Gita happens, telling the do's and the don'ts and the dharma and the adharma. So in that, the equipoise of the mind. So which is Arjuna is not having it. Now it's being told. So we are at that stage, we are taking those verses. So many times that Arjuna is we only. We've got so much battles to win inside us, not nothing outside most of the time. And amongst the do's and the don'ts, because of our likes and our dislike, probably we might like something which we are not supposed to do. And in that the decision, in that the battle, that how to stay to right and a wrong rather than a like and a dislike. That's the area which most of us fail, and we don't know that difference, that there is right and a wrong. Intellect is prompting, but we shut it up with our mind and we go with the mind. So always again, in the mind is a part of antakarana. There are 4 things in this component, the chitta, hankar, man and buddhi. This man is the one which is oscillating between to do or not to do, and buddhi is once it firms up, yes I have to do, or yes I don't have to do, or the clarity of the thoughts come over there. And chitta is something which stores everything in the memory, and I am the doer. That comes as a ahankara. But basically all are one part and a component only of, we can grossly call it as mind, but it is a antakarna, and then there are shades of that. So now Arjuna is asking Krishna the question. From that question we will start. Okay, who wants to try? Or first you want me to do first shloka and then you want to try the verse? Okay, let me do the verse, then you become comfortable. So we say, Arjuna vacha sthita. So and tha is there. Ikki matra is there. So sthita. Pa is there with the ra. So pra. Nya. Sa half here. Sthita.
Sorry, ma'am, which verse?
Second chapter, 54th.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Sorry, ma'am.
So now, when we are reading Sthita Prajna, we read just plain like that. When it comes to chanting, there is certain rule. So when a conjunct comes, now that pra is a conjunct, pa and a ra is there. So when a conjunct comes, the alphabet before it will get a pressure. So you can't simply say Sthita Prajna over there. So it will be Sthita Prajnasya, Sthita Prajna. So there is one extra ip sound that will come. So because there is a pra, but there would be any other alphabet, then according, let's say Vya comes, then the extra V sound will come. So depending upon what's the next conjunct, the previous sound will have the element of that conjunct starting. So the next conjunct is over here pra. So the previous alphabet will have a little tinge of that pa sound. So ip sound will be one extra. So sthita prajnasya. So that would be a correct pronunciation. Sthita prajna. So sthita prajnasya ka bhasha. So now we know this shra is a murdhani shra. So the tongue should touch the roof of the palate. And we should say bhasha. And bha is a mahaprana. We should not say ba. We should say bha. Bhasha. So all this now in a prose reading, you can escape the rules. But in chanting, you cannot. Chanting has to be done with the rule. That's why it is chanting. So sthita prajnasya ka bhasha. Bhasha. See, the shape of the mouth also changes. It's not bhasha. Bhasha. Because I have to touch the tongue. So unless and until you change that element in the mouth will not take that shape. And that pronunciation will not come out. So you have to be clear of that. Then, now see, samadhi, after dhi, there is a sa and a tha. So that is a conjunct. So dhi will have a pressure and an element of the next alphabet will come into it. Samadhisthasya, samadhisthasya. So sa has come in the dhi. Keshava. Okay. Then second line. Now sthita dhi. Dhi is a dirgha. After dhi, there is a visarga. So if it was a prose, we would have just said sthita dhihi. But now, after visarga, what alphabet comes? The chanting rule will change. So now after visarga over here is a ka. So anything belonging to a ka varga. So ka varga now by we know ka, ka, ga, ghang. So if anything is coming, then we have to lift that visarga and drop it halfway. We should not chant this visarga. So we should say sthita dhi, dhi. So we have dropped it. Kim. Then because the next alphabet is pra, we are reading kim as kim. But there are rules for this, which as and when it will come, I will explain. Prabha, shre, ta. So again, the mouth has to change to say shre. Prabha, shre, ta. Kimasita. That ta is full. It is not halanta. So we have to read everything correctly. Vrajeta kim. So I will read now the whole verse. Sthita prajnasya ka bhasha samadhisthasya keshava sthita dhih kim prabhasheta kimasita vrajeta kim. Sthita prajnasya. So this grammar part you will learn in the Sanskrit class, the level 1 class. But there are different, we call cases or vibhakti, which all our conjuncts are embedded into the word. So to, from and all, the prepositions, sorry, not that. All our prepositions are embedded into that word. And as a suffix, it goes and attaches. And you don't have to use separately the prepositions to, from, whose house. So in this Sthita Prajnasa, there is this case, the sixth case, which denotes apostrophe S. So Arjuna is asking, the one with the steady mind, steady intellect, or whose wisdom is unshaken, that person's, how you can describe it? Ka bhasha. Ka is how is he described? And samadhi sthasya. So again, this is that sixth case. It says, and the one who is in samadhi, how do you describe him? So in samadhi means the dhi is intellect, sama, which is equipoised, balanced. So one whose intellect is again unshakable. That means who is merged with the truth. So when we have duality only, right, this or that, we have options. But where there is no duality, where only oneness is there, one whose mind is just merged into the truth, what is his status? His question, Arjuna's question is there. And the same thing, sthitadhi, the one with that equipoised mind, when he's steady mind, how does he talk? Prabhashita, kim prabhashita, what does he talk? And kim asita, how does he sit? And vrajeta, how does he walk? So Arjuna is now curious that in the war to do or not to do, you are saying, okay, be equipoised, and you are saying this also, that also, everything. So now suddenly Arjuna started having questions. So he's asking him that, so these are the most beautiful verses over here of Gita, where it says the crux, and many times it's, what to say, we try to find it out in others. Means when Swamiji comes and we try to apply, oh, is Swamiji like this? So it's not for others. It is what is our achievement, where we should be holding our sadhana, and what is the direction it's given for us. We'll go ahead. I'll do one more verse. If I get some more rules, I can explain. Then Bhagwan starts explaining. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Prajahati Yada Kaman. See, Na jahati ti is hrasva. Kaman, that na is halanta. So we should exactly utter the way it is. We cannot say kamana because now it is halanta. It is not full. But in the previous one, asita, brajeta, the ta was full. So we cannot say asit, vrajet. So where it is not a halanta, we have to not say halanta. Where it is halanta, where we have to say. So that we have to be now very careful while doing the shloka. So prajahati yada kaman sarvan parthamanogataan atmanyevatmana tushtaha sthita prajnastadochyate. Now, we said in the beginning, we are taking these verses because they are simple chanda. So what is a simple chanda? So now if we see what I'm giving a tune over here is I'm breaking after one quarter. So how many alphabets are there? Pra, ja, ha, ti, ya, da, ka, man. Half alphabets are not counted. So these are 8 alphabets. So Anushtup Chanda has 8 alphabets in one quarter. Sar, Van, Par, Tha, Ma, No, Ga, Tan. 8. 8 and 8, 16 in the first line. At, Man, Nye, Vat, Ma, Na, Tush, Taha. 8 over. Sthi, Ta, Pra, Nyas, Ta, Do, Shya, Te. So, if we count, we can also break and put a marking initially so that we know where the shloka pada starts and where it ends. Half you should not count and then you can mark it. So now when I read the third quarter, Atmanyevatmana, I said Tushtaha. So when the quarter ends, we chant the Visarga full. When the verse ends or when the quarter ends, at the end, we should chant the Visarga full. Let us say if this Tushta was not the end of the quarter, if it was somewhere middle, and that Sthita is coming after that. So like how we learned after Visarga, when the Ka comes, we lift the Visarga and drop it. We don't chant it full. So like this, when a Sa comes, we do Tushta Sthita. So we include the Sa and we don't chant the Visarga. So Visarga's Sa should happen, Tushta Sthita. If Visarga was not the end of that quarter. So like that, if a Sha will come, we will say Tushta Shita, if the Sha was there. If there was a Pa, then we will do Tushtaf Prakriti. So Fakara will come, any of the Pa Varga. So this you will have to remember. When a Sa comes, Visarga Sa to read. When a Sha comes, Visarga Sha. When a Pa comes, Visarga Pa. And when a Ka Varga comes, you don't chant the Visarga, you lift it high and you drop it. So these are the Visarga's chanting rule. But so far it has not come. As and when it will come, we will say. We will tell the rules. So now Prajahati is to leave. So one who leaves, Yada means when one leaves, Kaman. Kaman is plural of this. So one who leaves the desires. And Sarvan, all the Manogatan. Manogatan is of the mind. So one who, Partha is Arjuna. Arjuna, when one leaves all the desires of the mind, and when you will come to the Sanskrit grammar class, there is something called a sandhi, where when the two words join, another word is formed. So over here in this third quarter, there is a sandhi. Atmani, Atmana and Eva. So, Atmani and Eva. So Atmani and Eva, that Ni and A has gone to form Ye, Atmanye. So Atmani eva Atmana. So Atmani means in the self. Atmana means by the self. Tushtaha. So one who is just dwelling in oneself. He's not requiring any other object or a person or an experience to be happy. He's just content with himself. So he's Atmani. Within himself, by himself, he is happy. He's not happy by any external stimulations. That person is called as Sthita Prajna, is Krishna's first half. So many answers will come. So in his first one, he says the one who has prajahati, one who has left his desires, whose mind is not full of likes, dislikes, and so many things. And the other one is who is content with himself. He's not requiring, there is nothing other thing. He's just happy by himself. So that is a Sthita Prajna. So within this first two verses, what we have tried to learn is the first rule we got was a Dvitva rule. Second rule what we got was a Visarga rule. So as and when it will come, I'll explain. And we are learning to break the alphabets as 8 pada. Okay. Now anybody would like to volunteer to read it?
I have a question. I've completely forgotten Nya. The J and Nya. How did we join that?
So J and Nya is from the Cha Varga, so second Varga. Cha, J, J, Nya. So the J and the Nya joins to form Nya. So it's a palatal sound.
From the second, right? Oh, okay. Right.
So it's a palatal sound. Okay. Now who would like to try to read? Padmaji, you have? Yes.
Which one shall I read, ma'am?
The next one, 56.
Dukheshvanudignamanaha Sukeshu vigataspraha Vitaragabhaya krodha Sthitadhirmuniruchyate.
Very good. Excellent. Perfect. No corrections are needed. So what happened? Dukheshvanudvigna manaha. Quarter has finished. So we have to say manaha. So we have to read that visarga full. Vigata spruhaha. So there is no aki matra. Spruhaha. So no the quarter change. Then vitaraga bhaya krodhaha. Krodhaha. And sitadhir muniruchyate. So now Krishna gives further example. Dukheshu, there is a sandhi over there. Dukheshu anudvigna. Udvigna is getting stressed or getting what we can say disturbed, and anudvigna is not disturbed. So dukheshu anudvigna. So there are problems, but you are not upset. The problem is there, but it is not affecting your mind. So dukheshu, because normally we are disturbed when only unpleasant things happen, right? So here the clear-cut definition is dukkha is there. So dukheshu, in dukkha, saptami there. So in the problem, in the difficulties, in the sorrow, when the mind is not perturbed, anudvigna. And sukheshu, when there is happiness, vigata spruhaha. You are not excited. So you are not suffering, disturbed in sorrow, and you are not excited and elated and bragging about your happiness. So in the happiness, this is the first line. Second line, vita. Vita means you've left. You are free from what? Raga. Raga is desire, attachment. Bhaya. Bhaya is fear. Krodha, anger. So this attachment, fear and anger, these are the main problem for all of us. We are attached to a particular person, thing. We are fear of whatever we have, we should not lose. And if it is going away or something is going to obstruct us, we get angry. So that person is Vita. He has left this attachment, fear, and anger combination, which we keep on undergoing, whether it is our son or a daughter, whether it is a car or a house, whether, and anything comes in between that, then that anger is going to come. And first, like we want something, then we acquire it, we want to preserve it. And when it loses, then the problem starts. So this 3 is what common man's problem. So who is like that? Who is Vita of this Raga Bhaya Krodha? Sthitadhihi Muniruchyate. So that person is called a Sthitadhi. That person's mind is called, that he is a Sthita Prajna. So we are going to get repetitions of this. Sthita Prajna Sadochyate or Sthitadhi Muni Uchyate, or he is a Muni. So such people are having the stable-minded people, or he is called a sage. Dukheshvanudvignamanaha Sukheshu Vigataspruhaha Vitaraga Bhayakrodhaha. See, I did Bhayakrodhaha. There is one Dvitva over there. So it's not plain Bhayakrodhaha. Bhayakrodhaha, because Kro is a conjunct. Sthita Dhir Muniruch. So Dhi is Dirgha. So we don't have to say Sthita Dhir Muniruch. Sthita Dhir Munir. So Dhi, we hold it. Dhir Muniruchate. Okay, we go for the next verse. Who would like to do it? Go ahead, Avanti.
Yassarvatranabhisnehaha tat prapya shubham nabhinandati nadveshti tasya prajna pratishtita.
Very good. Perfect. So what happened now? She broke it very perfectly. Ya, sa, va, tra, na, bhi, sne, ha. So there we have to break the pada. So that sa, she has broken and made visarga. So that visarga sakara has happened. We broke it at the 8th syllable. So sneha has happened over there, and that sa disappears. Visarga happens. And the first, how she read, yes sarvatran. So visarga's sakara has happened. Yes sarvatran abhisnehaha. And tat prapya shubha shubham. Correct. Na abhinandati na dveshti. The T is rasva. So we cannot say na abhinandati na dveshti, not to hold it. Na dveshti, we drop it because it's rasva. Tasya prajna pratishtita. Now, what is the next sign he is giving? Yes, sarvatra anabhisneha. So, sarvatra anabhisneha. Everywhere he's not. He's without attachment. Anabhisneha. He's without attachment. And tatat prapya shubha shubham. Whether he's getting shubha, something good out of it, or ashubha, something bad about it, na abhinandati. He is not rejoicing getting shubha, na dveshti. He is not hating it off got ashubha. So he is everywhere without any attachment. Whether he gets anything good or bad, he is not getting ananda or hate. It happens to us. We become bitter when something bad happens to us repeatedly. So for this, so tasya prajna pratishtita, his prajna, his wisdom is fixed, pratishtita, whose mind is not wavering in sorrow and pleasure, and who is everywhere without attachment. We can be like that, right? We have a specific spots. Yes, sarvatranabhisnehaha tat prapya shubha shubham nabhinandati nadveshti tasya so over here the dvitva tasya prajna pratishtita tasya prajna. Dvitva has to happen. Okay, Devika ji, can you go for the next one?
Yada samharate chayam kurmonyaniva sarvasaha indriyanindriyarthabhyaha tasya prajna pratishtita
Very good. Perfect. So again, we got that visarga, so we have to break. Indriyan, indriyarthebhyah. So we gave the visarga and took off that so because our pada of anushtup chanda has to break over there. So yada samharate. Samharana is to get in, to withdraw. Who withdraws like that? Yada, when, who withdraws? Ayam, this, who? This yogi withdraws. Like who? Kurmaha. Kurmaha is what? Tortoise, the turtle. Angani, his indriyas, how a turtle takes in all his indriyas. Iva means like. Sarvashaha means this yogi is, in the previous verse we saw, right? He from everywhere he's anabhisneha. So this verse is telling like the tortoise. He withdraws himself from the world. Kurmanganiva. Iva is like a tortoise, withdraws all his angas, withdraws all his head, his all his limbs. He takes back in the shell. Like that, this Muni takes. So indriyani, indriyarthebhyah, from what? Indriyas from its objects. Eye from the sight, ear from the sound, tongue from the taste. So indriyani, indriyarthebhyah. Indriya is the organ, the sense organ. Indriyarthebhyah is the object of that particular organ. For tongue, the object is the taste, right? So indriyani, indriyarthebhyah. He withdraws all his sense organs from the sense pleasures like the tortoise. So tasya pradhyat pratishya, who can do that? His wisdom is fixed or stable. In what? In the higher truth. Yada samharate chayam kurmonganiva sarvashaha indriyani indriyarthebhyah tasya pradnya. See, we have to remember dvitva again. Tasya pradnya pratisthita. So this was missed. Then also we have to remember kurmo. In that kurmo, ku is dirgha. So kurmonganiva, ni is dirgha. Indriyani, indri, sani is dirgha. So we have to specifically give their stress and extra pause to bring out that pronunciation, to show the perfection of our rasva dirgha. We can't say kurmonganiva. It can't be like that. So kurmonganiva. So then we are giving that much time that chanting becomes powerful. That stress on that word, because that chandas is built accordingly, that rasva dirgha, the words combinations are kept accordingly. So if we give that much attention, that chanting gets beautiful. Then indri, so dri is short, but indriyani, indri, when we do that ni indri, that ni dirgha, so then there is that beauty of the chanting. Indriyani, indriyarthebhyah. So that dri in both the places is short. Tasya pradnya, we are doing the vitva. Okay, who wants to do next? I see other two cameras.
Questions
Okay.
here.
Yes.
One is, how do you decide that samharate? Why can't we say samharate? You know,
we can't say so we can't say samharate and neither sanharate. North India they say na, and South India they say ma. But Sanskrit is uma. So that is coming as a anuswara rule. When I'll get one of the anuswaras, then I'll speak about it. Depending upon what is the next alphabet, this anuswara will have a pronunciation. So now in samharate, ha is the next word. So this previous anuswara is going to be ma.
And second question was, that's the word, that's the dog, no, whatever that is. That's what I was saying. Is there in Mangalam Bhagwana Vishnu. In Kurmong, the ang, Kurmong, you know that alphabet.
Oh, no, that is not a d.
What is that?
So that is na. Ka, kha, ga, gham, na. Na.
It's that one.
That is a fifth alphabet in the guttural. Ka, kha, ga, gha, ng. This is ng.
Okay, okay.
In Garuda Dhwaja, Garuda, da is having the dot under.
Okay.
That is da of Hindi. But this dot is in front of the, it's not below the. So this is n. So kurmonga, this is n, which comes as a fifth alphabet in the ka, kha, ga, gha, ng. Are you getting the point?
Yes, yes.
Okay, who would like to chant now? Indiraji, yes, please go ahead. Switch on your cam, Indiraji. Yes, go ahead with the next verse.
Vishaya vinivartante niraharasya dehinaha
Excellent.
rasa
Correct.
rasavarjam sasho
Raso.
raso pyasa
Yes, yeah.
pyasya param drishta
Drishtva.
drishtva nivartate.
Excellent. Fantastic. Wow. Perfect. So, Vishaya vinivartante niraharasya dehinaha rasavarjam rasopyasya parandrishtva nivartate. Now is the time to learn the Anuswara rule. Okay. So, when we were learning alphabets, what did we learn first? That there are two kinds. Correct. We learned one is swara and the other is the tangent. Then when we came to the, when is the swara and one is the vyanjanas. When we came to the vyanjana, what did we learn? Two kinds. The vyanjanas which are vargiya and vyanjanas which are avargiya. Correct. In the vargiya, what did we learn? That they are classified from where it has to be produced. Ka varga, cha varga, ta varga, ta varga, and pa varga. Remember all this? Then in each of this varga, we saw alpa prana, mahaprana, and anunasik. Correct? So that means each varga has its anunasik. Okay. Now come to the word drushtva in the fourth quarter. So drishtva is starting word is what? The. The is in which varga? The comes in which varga?
Ta varga.
Correct. The comes in ta varga. So say the ta varga.
Ta, tha, da, da.
Correct. So ta, tha, da, dha, na is the
Na.
ta varga. Anunasik is what for ta varga?
Na.
Na. Correct. So when the anuswara is followed by the ta varga word. So the is in a ta varga word. Then this anuswara's pronunciation has to be na. So anuswara's pronunciation is depending upon what is the following varga. That varga's anunasika has to be this anuswara. So I'm not going to say param drushtva. I am going to say parandrishtva. Now, how I will support what I am saying? When I'm going to write, okay, I'm just going to use the chat box now. And each of you should read the alphabets, what I'm writing over there first. Okay, just give me a minute. What is this alphabet? This word? See in the chat box.
Amba.
Correct. Amba. Now, what is this word? Read.
Amta.
Anta.
Anta.
Okay.
Anta.
Anta. What is this word? Anka. Very good. Now, what is this word?
Under.
And. See, what have you read? Amba. Anta. Anka. Then under. How did you read that? I've just put anuswara, but you have changed the anuswara. You are not saying amba. Why you didn't say amba? You read amba. Why did you read it as amba? You did it. You read amba. Because ba is in pa varga. Pa, pa, ba, bha, ma. So ma is the anunasik for the pa varga. When I'm putting a dot ba, you are reading amba. Ta varga's anunasik is na. When I'm reading a dot ta, you are reading anta. Ta varga's anunasik is na. Ant. You didn't read amta. Why you didn't read amta over there? Why you didn't read anba over there? Okay. Now go for the next one. Ka. You are saying anka. You're not saying amka, anka, but you're saying anka. How did it come? Ka varga's anunasik is ng. Ka, kha, ga, gha, ng. So you're reading anka. Then the last one is very unique. Neither you said and, and. You said anda. Anakara. Da is coming in ta varga. Ta, tha, da, dha, na.
Na.
So na is different from na. This how did you say while reading that? Why not anda? Why you said anda only? Now you get? So anuswara rule is like this. Whatever is that after anuswara, what alphabet is coming, accordingly that varga's fifth alphabet, anunasika, is the pronunciation of that anuswara. Are we clear? Now, this is for the vargiya, because you have a clear-cut demarcation that this anunasika is for this varga. But when you come to avargiya, there is no anunasika over there. So, in the avargiya are 8 alphabets. Ya, ra, la, va, sha, sha, sa, ha. Okay, 8 alphabets. In that, 2 alphabets, ya and la, they follow their own rules. Like, after anuswara, any ya is coming, this anuswara will be read as nya. Nya with a chandra bindu. I'll write in the chat box how that nya is. Nya with a chandra bindu. Okay. So that anuswara will be read as nya. And ya with the and for the la with the chandra bindu. So after anuswara, if any la is coming, then la has to be read. Oops, what happened to this? Okay, somebody should take a screenshot of the chat column to post in the group, because people who are going to watch from the YouTube will not get this chat alphabets. So after anuswara, if a year comes, then anuswara nya should be read as. After anuswara, if a la comes, then that anuswara will be read as ana. And all the remaining, whatever is remaining, all that has to be said as wa with the nasal sound. So I'll write that also. So now we learned the Visarga Anuswara rules. So now coming to that rule, Rasa Varjam Raso, because Ra is a avargiya and it is not a ya, it is not a la. So whatever is remaining, ya, ra, va, sha, sha, sa, ha, for all that we have to produce one sound. So Rasavarjam Rasopyasya Parandrishtva Nivartate. This is the chanting rule for the Anuswara. So Vishaya Vinivartante Niraharasya Dehinaha Rasavarjam Rasopyasya Parandrishtva Nivartate. Okay, now we see the meaning. What happens over here? Dishaya vinivartante. So whatever is the objects. So from that vinivartante, to withdraw from those sense objects, niraharasya, to abstain. That man, he abstains from that. Rasavarjam, varja is to minus, it's not there. Rasavarjam, that longing to enjoy something, to have a rasa, to enjoy, that need of enjoyment he's dropping. He's leaving that desire to enjoy. In what? Rasopyas, in the things that which normally we will long for. Even param drishtva, because he has seen param, he has seen the highest truth. So he nivartate, turns away from, from which we long into. We long, no? If we go to one mall, oh my God, everywhere the senses are dragging us. We go to one party, everybody is wearing what all, our senses drag us to over there. We see anything, any food, the senses drag. Somebody cooks something, oh, this is this kind of a bread. Oh yeah, then we want that. Anywhere, our senses are, they get dragged upon anything and everywhere. Anything, anybody's son, daughter, beautiful, anywhere. Yeah, we are dragged everywhere. Who's wearing what? It's, our senses are all over the place. But for him, Rasavarjam, he doesn't long and he doesn't attract him only. When we invite all Mahatmas to our house, however posh our house is, whichever car we take, Porsche or BMW from there, it doesn't make any difference to that Mahatma whether you took him in a Porsche, he doesn't even know that brand, or you took him to your nice beachside bungalow, or you took him to your hut. It doesn't make any difference to the Mahatma. Everything is same for him. Whether you give him nice sofa to sit or one mat to sit, it doesn't matter. So he's rasavarja. From all that rasas, from everything that is attracting, it's to us it is attraction, but for them it is not attraction at all. So such people are called as sthitadhi. They are, oh, we should aim. It is possible, right? Mahatmas are human beings in front of us, and they come like a humans in front of us to show that it's a possibility. Please, you also do. Otherwise, they need not take avatar and come in front of us. If they would have come in some different form called as God, then we would say, oh, you are God, that's why it's possible for you. But they are come with the same eyes, nose, hands, legs like us. So we can relate, and it makes things, okay, we have to achieve that in life. So then something, little bit, some sprinkles of that will fall on us by seeing them. If we don't get to see in that form, we will not we'll think, okay, it's for the books, it's for the gods, it's not for us. We will feel like that very easily. Okay, so I think we can stop over here for today. Now the homework is complete the rest of the shlokas. And you put your audio in that for chanting correction. Whatever is the possible. So now the rules of chanting you have learned. Applying the chanting rule, complete the rest of the chapter and post your verses for the correction of the audio. And the other homework is from this verse 52 for write it. So the writing practice should also be there. Write it only once. These are the best verses. They are something to put on a nice golden color and frame it on the wall, basically. Such powerful verses these are. So write it in the most beautiful handwriting. It's copywriting, we had in school, and whose handwriting is beautiful, who has fitted it nicely. So you do all that for your copywriting of these verses very nicely. And then visit this YouTube video again to get that chanting rule understood. Because now we have got only one example of Rasavarjan, Rasopyasa, I have said, and Parandrishtva, I have said no. But we have to apply it for others also. And only two visargas we could see, Stitadhi Kim and Pradnyas, no, when Sakara has come, what was that alpha word over there? Which Avanti read, I think so. Yes, Sarvatra. So we saw yes, Sarvatra. So like that, if sh comes, you have to read sh. If a pa comes, you will read it as fa over there. And let's see who can put the audios. Then next week, we are going to go for tougher verses. We are going to change the chandas, the bigger chandas, and I'll post the material beforehand only. So if you want to take a print out of it, you can take. We'll not do full chapters of that. I'll take different chandas, and we can cover many chandas in that. And then depending on that, we see whether we need a next class. Otherwise, next would be our last class. So by that time, we are completing our course. All the angles have been taken, but I'll leave it to you all if you want one more session to revise or anything. Okay. So with this, we end today's session. Keep your spine straight, close your eyes, take a deep breath in and exhale. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Take a deep breath in, hold it there. Oh. Oh. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Shri Krishnarpanamastu. Hari Om everyone. See you all next week. It's our last session. Do please come. Hari Om.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hari Om
Varsha.
Varsha ji. Thank you.
Thank you. Hari Om. Hari Om.